Okay, so I will continue from the previous lesson here. Okay, so I created a copy of curve which was under the M particle soft body. What this does is that this copy curve is going to follow, is going to be stick to this curve here. And there's going to be this particle system that is created on connected with this copy of curve. And what it does is that I can change the goal PP number difference so that it's going to have some kind of like those wiggling, jiggling motions. First, what I'm going to do is select my copy of curve and Shift I to isolate selection, and then right mouse and select and then select the particle here, and then right mouse and select the particle. Okay, once you do that, you can see that the particle here is going to be shown like a sky blue color. So once you select all those particles, it's going to turn yellow, which is not going to show that good here. And then under the window, general editor, go to the component editor. Once you open that, under the particle tab, you're going to see that there's going to be this goal PP. And what this does is that when you set this to 1, the goal PP right now as a default, when you set this as 1, then it's going to immediately, this copy of curve is going to immediately stick to the curve 1, which is going to be the base curve. And when I set this to, for example, if I set one of those number to 0, what it does is that point 3, so that's going to be my last point here. Okay, this is going to be my point 0, which is going to be the first one, and it's going to go down to point 3. So if I set this to 0, it's not going to be affected with the base curve, which is going to be my curve 1 here. Whenever I move my curve 1, this point 3 is not going to be affected, and it's not going to move to that position where the curve 1 is. So if I increase the number like 0.5 or 4 or whatever number you want, then it's going to go faster, like move faster to stick to that curve 1. Like it's going to move back and forth, and then try to stick to the target curve, which is going to be my base curve here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just I want a gradual fall off from here to here. So whenever I move my base curve, I want this part to move more and this part to move less. I mean, this part is going to be the first one here. I want this to stick 100%, this one maybe 90%, and maybe this one 70%, and the last point here is going to be sticking like 40%, which means that it's going to have more freedom of movements. Okay, once I set that, and if I want to check this out, what I have to do is Shift I to show everything here. And I'm going to use an IK spline handler, which is going to be under the skeleton. Hold down the space bar, skeleton, and IK spline handler. Go to the option. And as you know, the reset tool, when you reset it, it's going to show something like this. I don't want to create a auto create curve because I want this copy of curve to be my spline curve. So turn that off, and then select my first joint, hold down the control key on your keyboard and select the last joint, and then select the copy of curve. Once you do that, you are going to see that there's going to be an IK spline solver created. And now if I move my curve here, and before I play this, I want just to remind you that go to the preference, and here under the time slider, make sure that whenever you are working on the like particle system, Yeah, keep in mind to use this as a play every frame. Play every frame per sec, okay? And hit save. And then why don't we play it? And once you play it and move it, you can see that this is wiggling around, as you can see here, bouncing left and right, up and down. So I'll just set this back to 0 and go to the first frame. And I created one of those wiggling objects here.